tears in your eyes.
Welcome to Between the Takes. I'm sitting here between an invisible Jarrett and a very visible Vincent Michael.
No, you don't have to pretend I'm there. Like, I'm not gonna be there. This is the episode.
That's fine. I got nothing else.
Vince, I've known you for quite a while now.
It's true. Going on 5 years.
That's pretty wild. Yeah. We met you
Yeah.
right before the pandemic.
Yep. Right for the pandemic.
Our panini times.
You shouldn't make
Our-
light of that. It was very serious. A lot of people died.
So anyways, really proud of the moves you're making these days. Real fun times.
Yeah. It's not tiring at all. Or
I feel like
expensive.
I'm not close enough to this microphone. Or expensive. Yeah, that's true. Nobody talks about that. Tell us about that.
Well, I guess we're doing a pretty good. Mark, the guitar player, he does all the production. Like, it's really great, and
That's great.
it's fantastic quality. So, like, for that to be free is invaluable.
Yeah.
But
It's nice to have those people in your
yeah.
corner.
Should I save this? What's happening right now?
I'm like, dang, she's asking
God.
good questions. I'm trying to remember what she's saying.
Someone give me a podcast. I feel the adrenaline. I'm sure that's how they all feel when they do this.
What would you call it? Tacoma Talks?
My podcast?
Yeah.
My podcast would be a sports podcast where no stats or figures are allowed.
Yo, just be like, yo, Bryce Harper sucks. Don't at me.
It's only vibes. And maybe there's like a fact-checking ticker at the bottom or something, but like it's just impressions. It's just how he felt, what it looked like. Callers can bring stats to the table to refute us, but we're not allowed to look at any stats.
She's like, yo, this dude's like hitting like bangers all night.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the good classic barroom sports talk.
Yeah.
So we didn't have phones to look at stuff. You know what I mean? How many times has a phone ruined a good conversation, a good debate by bringing the facts?
Too many times. Too many
Right?
times.
How many times you be like, yeah. It's
Even with just the ability of someone pulling up what I said in a text.
yeah.
I don't want that.
It's tragic. So yeah, that'd be
Accountability. man. Sucks.
I don't know what it'd be called, but yeah, statless or something.
Ooh, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Statless in Seattle. You got to move to Seattle.
No, thank you. Beautiful city though. Yeah, it'd be good. You know, just all personality, all vibes, all feelings, no facts.
Who needs facts?
It's like we're trending that way anyway, right?
True.
Has anyone ever been like, oh, I was reading this article, and they tell you like a point, and then you're like, was it an article or a TikTok? You know, people be saying that.
I've never done that.
Anyway,
Anyway.
should I take my shirt off now?
Did you want up front or like after?
No, but this has a brand on it. I can take it off.
Ooh. I don't care. I'm wearing another band that's been on this.
That's offensive.
This is Lazy Acres. We prefer Active
I
Acres.
thought I was special.
Active square footage. Welcome to Between the Takes.
Wait, can I have a drink first?
No.
I was not made for this. Are these usually serious?
No.
Really?
No, I don't care. I just want it to be conversation.
I haven't watched any of them.
Just feel natural. That's okay.
It
Only
is-
like 12 people have watched them, I think.
I'll watch this one. That's good for anything.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Vincent Michael here on Between the Takes. Super excited to have you on, man.
Dude, excited to be here. But I saw both cameras were pointed at you. I was a little jealous. I was like, it's just my audio? I didn't realize.
That,
Yeah,
just
no,
so you know,
no, I
that
got
one's
it.
a wide shot against
Yeah.
both of us, and then he just kind of like spins back and forth. It's so Raph doesn't fall asleep and he has something to do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. No, I'm caught up. It's good to be here. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Thanks for Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, you guys were a killer session. Like, it was such a different one than anything else I've had on.
Really?
I haven't had anyone do anything like, I guess it would be considered country western.
Yeah.
Is your style? Yeah, you don't find much of that in Philly, at least in the circles that I've run. So hearing it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's definitely not what I used to do, and I don't know if I'll do it forever. But it's weird. It is weird to do it in Philly.
But you just got the voice for it. I don't know. Your voice just blends into it so
Yeah.
easily. I
Well,
think,
I
especially with the
appreciate
way you and Mark were playing.
Yeah, that's been kind of the spark for the whole thing. I mean, the songs have been what they are, but I feel like the chemistry that Mark and I have has been really great. There are musicians who will play the parts, and then there are musicians who will get inside the world of a song. And when you find the latter, it's like it's the greatest thing.
Yeah,
It's so exciting.
that's awesome. You were saying you used to do other types of music. What was it that you were doing?
God. That's great. I've always written like I've always. What the heck is that?
That's the AC unit.
Should I have not have acted like that was happening?
You're good.
Sorry, I'll just cut around that. Yeah, no, writing music. I've always written music. It's always been something. I've always been a journaler. Always been, a writer of some sort. But never put it out there. Didn't really play shows. None of that stuff. And the writing style's always changed. When I was in college, just love John Mayer, love Bon Iver. It's just very typical. But it wasn't until last summer, I spent the summer in Montana and working like just the crappiest little coffee shop job. But just being in the mountains, being out west, it was awesome. It was like such a reset for me. I hadn't written a song since like before the pandemic.
Wow.
Part of that was just life being so crazy and busy. Part of that was just like lack of inspiration, and just being so out of touch with music personally. And out there, I just came back after 4 months, came back with like 15 songs. And coming back to Philadelphia, I was like, I'm not going to let life get so busy that I don't play and write music. So, so then I started going to open mic nights just to, keep doing it. And that's how I met Mark. And Mark is like, he's awesome. He's got major, like, you ever meet somebody who's got a golden retriever energy? Like,
Yeah.
like they have a good idea and the good idea happens. Like there's no pondering. He came up to me after I played this set at this small little bar and he's like, "Yeah, those your songs?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Songs are hot. Do you want to record them?" Don't know this guy. And usually when someone offers to do something for you for free, it's because it's garbage.
Yeah.
That was an exception. This is an exception. So, but yeah, it turned out to be great. And then, a couple weeks later, he's like, "Hey, if I get you a band, you want to play some shows?" And I was like, "Why not?" And so here we are. Yeah. Within 1 year, I met Mark, formed the band, recorded the EP, and now we're almost at the end of that journey, that arc.
How many pieces are in the band?
It's 4 of us. Well, there's 4 of us. Well, there's 4 of us. I've just been we have this guy who does pedal steel that I just like want him to be in the band.
Yeah.
And I've played with him before and he's on the record and he's going to play the album release show when it gets booked, but he wouldn't say he's in the band and nobody else would say he's in the band, but I think he is. So yeah, it's right now it's pretty classic. It's guitar, bass, drums, me on acoustic singing. It's chill, but the pedal steel really brings it to another world.
Oh yeah. I'm just imagining like listening to the sessions as they are now.
Yeah.
Just pedal steel would have felt so
especially
full
on Tacoma. It's that one with the pedal steel it's pretty epic. It's beautiful. So yeah, so it's really strange. I was never a country music fan. It was just very recent, but the songs came out that way. I think my dream is to be somewhere in this, like, if there's a Venn diagram of like Chris Stapleton stuff and it was connected to Phoebe Bridgers and something else, like I just want to be like sad cowboy country-ish, but but Philly.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but that's kind of the dream. That's what's been coming out of this anyway. So
That's cool. I really enjoy when artists have their multiple kind of pulls and influences.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really get stale because they can always start leaning more towards one of the other influences.
Yeah.
Because there are too many bands where they're just like pumping out the same thing over and over again. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
it's cool, but like you're getting old, dude.
yeah, it's probably it's been one of the hardest parts for me, even recording the EP is, when you don't have a ton of money or a ton of time, you have to live in that world for so long. These songs were written, some of them a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And so after a while, like, you kind of want to move on creatively, but you also want to finish. For me, this whole recording process started because I felt like these songs were such an important part of like my life, and like it's a very distinct bookend to a season. And I just thought, how special would it be if I could have these songs done unbelievably well to the highest quality possible that I could have forever. Like, I want to be able to listen to these in 20 years and them still sound like good.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah.
We
I
did
made
them.
yeah, with Garage Band, which not, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
no hate on it.
I want
but-
them to sound timeless.
Yeah.
And to do that, it takes a while. So it's been very strange to like live in these songs and give them new life, but also kind of feel like I'm ready for the next arc or era,
I was going to say, sitting on a song for so long, especially when it seems to be as tied in emotionally as these are, do you feel like it shaped them at all, or like the feeling of them changed with how long some of the recording process took?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think all of them are pretty similar to when I first wrote them. Of the three, Western Sugar is a weird one. There's a whole different version of that song. I was kind of writing the same song, two different versions of the same song, and I got very far in both versions. The other one that you won't ever hear is much sadder and solemn and quiet. And then eventually this one just took over, especially once the band came in, and I showed both of them and the one was just a clear runaway for them. And so it's interesting to have kind of this lost song that isn't even in the zeitgeist anymore. But yeah, it is cool to see how they change and shape. Even Tacoma is like, we recorded it and then we got connected back with Kyle, the pedal steel player, and then now that song it's the same, but it feels way different to me. It's become my favorite for sure. Yeah.
I think as of right now, the Futon Session version is the only one that's out currently. When is the project most likely going to drop? Do you have a date?
Yeah, we're looking at December. We don't have a specific date. We're trying to win the Christmas album of the year. So let's just we're basically, everything's recorded, everything's mixed. It's just paying for the mastering. So you know how it goes. Trying to gig to save up the money and pay for the versions. But
I understand.
Yeah, we're looking.
Before you leave, remind me. I might have a guy that is a good price that can help you out.
Great. I haven't heard those words at all in this process. Yeah. So.
But yeah. So whenever that comes out, I'm going to try and have any links down in the description so you guys can find it. If anything, I'll have just a general link to anything related to Vincent Michael so that you guys can find it afterwards.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
I'm excited to hear him. I'm excited to hear the full band aspect of them because the three of them were just Cowboy was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Tacoma was probably my favorite. Western Sugar was like, they're all tied. I can't rank them.
Yeah, they definitely change their favorites for me. It depends where we're playing it and what mood I'm in. But yeah, those are the three titans of the record for sure.
I keep playing them in the car with my girlfriend. We're both like bobbing along, singing along to them. Yeah. I'll be working on something in here, and she'll just be sitting over here on the couch. She'll be like, "Show me how to be a cowboy."
Yeah, that one is so fun and sweet, and that one's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, serotonin booster for sure.
Hearing about like them coming out of your stint in what was it, Minnesota?
Montana. Yeah.
Sorry, I mix up the M's.
Okay.
Your stint in Montana makes more sense for them, because for some people it's like, where did they pull that inspiration from? Because you don't know the person's story, so it's you're always curious to see where the inspiration came from.
Yeah, it's been really cool. It's funny how like each of those songs are tied to a distinct person or a distinct memory or a distinct cowboy. I was in Calgary, so in Canada. Calgary in Canada is like the cowboy scene is wild. They have the biggest rodeo. I think I don't know if it's in the world, but it's called Stampede, and it's like 10 days long, and it's like crazy. But I went to they have cowboy clubs up there.
Oh,
so it's like a nightclub, but it's like cowboy. So like there's country music and some line dancing, but then like it's kind of wild. But yeah, so
that is pretty cool.
There's this girl that I was like, man, she's something. But she was like only dancing with guys who could do all these country line dances, and I was like, if I just had that tool in my arsenal, I could make this work, I think. And that's kind of where the song came from, it's like just a really silly memory and thought for me.
It's silly, but like having that backstory to it is really cool. Like that makes me love the song like even more now.
Yeah, it's good. It's like a little pathetic, but that's how we do it. It was good.
Listen, it brought out a good song, so who cares if it's pathetic?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, who cares? Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh man. So outside of being a musician, you mainly work in coffee, like as your regular day-to-day, right?
Yep, my friend Tim and I, we have a coffee business, 2 shops, roasting, catering, and it takes up a lot of my time, which is fun.
That's crazy though. It's I try to ask these things every now and then because it's always important to like, especially for newer musicians or newer artists who are trying to make it, it's good to remember like making it and being one of the most amazing artists doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have your regular day-to-day life.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to know. I mean, I think if anybody tries to become an artist, they basically encounter that immediately. Yeah. But yeah, it's probably the hardest part. I think it also depends how you write. In Montana, I had so much time and space that it was very easy to just sit on my porch every evening and play guitar for an hour and a half. And so much of my writing style is like space oriented. Like I need time, but in this season, it's like just taking voice memos at work in the back, standing in the fridge, and then going home and trying to piece them together later. So yeah, it does change. It does change how you write. It does change how you have to find new ways to act and formulate your inspiration. It's not enough to just think of a good hook, right? You gotta you gotta breathe that out into a song. And when you have a full life of like working and writing and playing gigs and rehearsing and recording, and then any other things, like it can be really hard to find the space and to catch the momentum that's needed to finalize songs, which is the hardest part of the stage for me, is to finish songs.
Calling a song finalized is like, that's one of the biggest challenges I think I've seen every artist hit, whether it's the writing stage or the recording stage, and even just both. Because writing it and calling it done, and then recording it and being like, all right, I don't want to add anything else. I don't need any other instruments.
Yep.
The way we built the bridge is great. The way the last chorus comes in is awesome. Like feeling satisfied with it can be really hard because it's your baby. It's your brainchild.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. There's that tension of like it's never pretty much never going to be what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes the best part.
Yeah.
And in other times it's the worst part, But yeah, I think for me, I've never. Yeah, I don't think I'm like, there's some artists who have like that, like this is going to be my magnum opus or whatever the term is. Like this is going to be. I've never had that complex.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe it's just my age and my stage of life, but like for me, like songs feeling simple has been such a joy. So yeah, and maybe that'll change as we get deeper into this thing, but like right now it's It's like just letting the songs and the writing speak for themselves, and just everything else. I just want to build the world for it, and I find myself like valuing simplicity even more and more, even in like who I play with and how we play. You know, I think sometimes we try too hard to create these impressive, complex things, when really it's like how much do we relate to the song, and how clear is the heart of the song to the person who's listening to it. And that's just been like what I've been striving for in this process, which is fun.
Yeah, you can't try too hard to make something work in a song, because when you're pushing to force a certain idea on a song so hard, sometimes it just doesn't fit, and then it doesn't ruin the song, but the song doesn't feel right. I would say that is the opposite of what your guys' songs are like right now, especially with just how you and Mark were playing. Mark's playing all over the place. Like, he'll jump in on chords and then he'll pop out a lead line, jump back down, be walking around a little bit. But it's...
Yeah, he's like the ultimate, like, those 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner bottles. He's like... he's just... I have a lead guitar player and a rhythm guitar player, and they're the same person.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Just the way that you guys blended on it. It didn't feel forced. What he was playing at times would be complex. What he was playing at times would be super simple.
Yeah.
But it just matched what you were doing in the
It's
song.
truly because we've played, like, almost weekly, we play at an open mic. And it's just me on acoustic and him on electric. So, and we do the full band stuff. So it's cool. I'll have to send you the recordings.
Yes.
But it's really fun to see, even in those sessions, how he's translated what he plays in the full band mixes to something that was a little more stripped down.
I can't wait to hear that.
He's a genius. It's great. I'm very lucky.
Oh, now my mind's blank.
Well, it was only 3 songs, so how much can you talk about?
I love digging into the artistry and the creativity of it with people. I don't think, with all the people that I've had on, it's not very often just about the songs that they did. Like, we'll talk about it a little bit, but the majority of the time, huge tangent way off.
Yeah, that's fun.
One time we were talking about like why a band did or didn't enjoy bossa nova. Granted, that was like the style of the song had a little bit of bossa nova, but it was just like bossa nova for 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow. That is a tangent.
It's a heavy tangent.
Yeah. That's great.
Oh man.
I can ask you questions.
Ooh, I don't want to get interviewed. I don't like talking about me.
Oh man.
But yeah, dude, I'm excited for these to come out. Do you already have any ideas of what's coming beyond this project, or are you just letting this project breathe and then gonna come?
I think the goal right now is release the project and book more shows around it, play it out more. I think it'll be really fun to play out with, like, having something people can actually grab onto after sets. And then it's I think it's maybe write the next one, but I'll be interested to see how that goes without dipping out of this side of the country again. Mark was saying that I just need to get really sad and go somewhere else for 3 or 4 months, and I'll just start all over. It's not a bad idea.
Have you thought about doing the writing with the band this time instead of just trying to solo it?
We've been doing some of that. Yeah, it's it's very it's very difficult for me to write with people and write with the band. Yeah, and all of my bandmates are incredible musicians. They're great writers too. It's very tough for me because it feels like as soon as we start doing things or trying things out, it feels like the soul of the song gets changed, you know? And I don't know if that's just like something I need to get over, or I think also as when it's your song to start, you have to lead. And sometimes you might have to lead the process. You have to like set some of the boundaries, you know? But it's hard because like we have one song we just kind of finished up, and it felt a certain way when I wrote it and I brought it to the band, and now it feels a different way. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm okay with that, you know? Yeah, I don't know. There's part of me that's like, I love this record and I think it's very dynamic. There's like some things that are more stripped back and quiet and whatever, and then there's some full band fun ones. But part of me just like wants to write a record that's like all sad. It's just like, you know,
You could pull a Johnny Cash, just you and an acoustic, go in the studio alone, and just sit there for a couple hours.
I don't know. It's so the whole thing is so fun, and I would like to be better at writing with the band.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's so much more potential. You have 4 great musicians who have listened and created so much music together. It feels like that makes sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And already I feel like we've seen some special things. We just like take these voice memos, and they're like 45-minute voice memos that of like us just like working through songs. And then you have to sit down and listen to them again. It's just like kind of chaotic, but it's cool to see even just little pieces that come out of that. So yeah. We're going to try, you know. I think it'll probably be a mix at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The guys help me have fun with songs. I think if I just wrote them all, a lot of them would be like downers. So it is nice to have them involved to like, they'll just like, let's make this fun. And I'm like, all right, fine. We can try.
We could try.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to hear them all. Thank you again so much, Vincent, for coming on, bro.
Yeah.
Check him out on Spotify. He has a couple songs out right now. Watch the Futon Sessions.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Just keep watching for Vincent Michael.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank
It's been
you.
fun.
Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you have any questions for Vincent, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd love to answer questions.
Dude, yeah. Just huge paragraphs in the comment
This is
section.
why people start podcasts.
Yes.
Man, the dream.
Show me how to be a cowboy.